Hey everybody, this is IndieGeek, and today I'm taking a look at Life Goes On, which is a new Steam game out today from Infinite Monkeys Entertainment. It is available on PC, Mac, and Linux, and is available for $13 normally and $9.74 for the opening week sale. So I will jump right in here. This is actually the second world. There are 3 worlds total, so you can get an idea for kind of the length here. I've played for, maybe 45 minutes and I went through the first world, but the first 8 or so levels were kind of like, I just breezed through them, so I would expect to get at least a few hours here. So the whole idea here is that we have to kill our knights in order to solve puzzles to get our last knight that we will use through to the end. And that is basically what's going on here. So, for example, I can do this, and he will land on the platform, and then I can go through. And that is kind of the process that we're going to do for every level. They certainly get more and more difficult as we go on. And you can see that at the end you do get, this will actually show up on the select screen, so you can see for the first 2 levels I did it in fewer knights than I needed, as well as a lot faster than the time, but you can see that I quickly start losing that as we go further. Which is to be expected, of course, because levels get harder. And they, they're not always, like, instantly going to make sense. Yeah, and that was totally a mistake, but it's fine. And then, so there are, if you're wondering, there are achievements for, killing your guys 1,000 times or 100 times, whatever, various numbers. You can grab onto ledges, and people count as ledges, so there's that. I might have to go in here and turn the volume down just a little bit. Speaking of, though, the music is very nice. I like it a lot. Yeah, it's, I haven't found it to get repetitive so far. Like I've said, I played maybe 45 minutes, and it's good. I think it is, a pretty good soundtrack. I don't know if it would be like a soundtrack that I would, listen to separate from the game, but not every soundtrack has to be. And of course, some of me going through this so fast, of course, is due to me having finished these levels already. You probably will not go through most of these levels quite as fast as I am. Although, of course, we're still not quite to where things get really tricky. But, I mean, as far as puzzle platformers go, I think it's a pretty good one. The controls feel pretty good for the most part. Obviously there's not a lot going on here where we can basically move and we can jump. This isn't maybe the impression that I totally got from looking at pictures and trailers. I think maybe it's slightly misleading, seeing the sword and stuff like that. Alright, this one I didn't figure out how to get even remotely close to the goal, so maybe we'll see if I can this time. I lost a ton of guys the first time. Yeah, that worked better. Yeah, I don't know, I thought there would be a little bit of combat in the game looking at pictures and stuff like that, but it doesn't need it. I don't think it's necessarily missing anything by not having combat. And honestly, as far as puzzle platformers go, they all have their own little gimmick. And I think as far as ones that have been recently released, this is probably one of my favorite little gimmicks, I guess you could say. Just doing the whole killing your knight in order to progress is, you know, it's really interesting. I like it a lot. Alright, do that, and then we block the fire, of course. Okay, and then, yeah, that's what I thought. So I need to do this, and then I can lift this, and then die. And I will spawn down here. And I like that we get the scroll at the bottom that kind of tells us who our people are. So, you know, that gives like everyone a little bit of personality, and you can actually like follow family lines and stuff like that. It's, you know, it's interesting. I like that. You know, the game has a lot of humor, and I can certainly appreciate that. Alright, let's see if I can do this. And go. Nice. You've probably seen the little monsters hidden on the levels. Those are kind of extra things you can do. You can see that I did it on that one. So it's just like one more thing for you to do. And I think what I will probably do after this level is maybe jump to the last level in this set. Because for the last level, it looks like they kind of up their game a bit, if you will. And things get quite a bit more kind of tense and crazy. And a little bit like longer form levels, I guess you could say as well. But also, I don't want to show off too much of what's going on here because it is puzzle based, so you know, I'm giving some of this away by doing this. But overall, I'm definitely having a good time with the game. I think right, so this is a good one. This shows off how lava works. And I suppose I could do this and get eaten. But yeah, you know, the gameplay is really good. It's fun. Like I said, I can't really speak to the length of the game. I know the first world is pretty easy, but that's also super common with games like this, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the challenge upped by quite a bit for the second and third worlds. Besides, of course, if you are into it, there's kind of the mini challenges of each level, you know, trying to beat it in under the recommended time and under the recommended amount of nights, stuff like that. So part of the length is going to be like what you make of it. But, you know, from a gameplay standpoint, it is very fun. I can definitely give it that. And, you know, the art is really nice. I like the art a lot as well. You know, it's all got kind of a humorous style to it. I love the little knights. They're pretty adorable. So this is the last level of the first world. So I wanted to jump ahead and get to here to show off that things get, you know, quite a bit more complicated. And what I can't speak for is, like, so I don't know if it gets more complicated and then this is like the starting point for the second set of levels, or if it gets more complicated just because it's the last level of each set of levels. Like I said, you know, this is, as usual, this is kind of my first impressions of the game, in a way. So I haven't played a lot, but I will be playing more. I'm definitely planning on finishing the game, but I think this gives a pretty good overview of like what's going on in the game and what you can expect from kind of the rest of the game. But yeah, I mean, throughout so far, gameplay's been really good, art and music have been excellent, and, you know, above all, it's fun, and that is always, in my opinion, the most important point. Maybe I'll jump in and do like the first level of the second world. So now we've got, oh, so that's kind of cool. So So then we'll, if we're good, we will of course drop. And that allows us to go over here. Right, and then we want them to stick, because we want to ride him. So this is kind of explaining the process of figuring things out. Of course, that was a terrible jump. So yeah, I mean, as you can see, things do get, you know, a little more complicated. Although, I bet if I did this right, I could go like this. Yeah, that's what I thought. I don't know if that's the way you're supposed to do it, but that works. So, yeah, I'm going to cut this one off here because I don't want to show off too much. Like I said, there is a third world as well, but you know, this gives, I think, a pretty good overview of what's going on in the game. Definitely recommend it if you are a fan of puzzle platformers and want something a little different, because I really haven't seen too much that's like this. So, yeah, of course I will link in the description as well to where you can purchase the game for yourself, so if you are interested, just follow that link and, you know, pick it up. So, with that, yeah, as always, feel free to comment if there's anything that you'd like to comment on. Subscribe to the channel to see more of my videos every single day, and if you liked my look at Life Goes On, then please do consider clicking the like button, because that helps me out a lot, and I definitely appreciate everything you do to help. So with all of that being said, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.